With 4.0 and the new year comes a brand new archetype to sink our teeth into and completely power creep the team that I spent $5,000 on. Now, if you were anything like me, you probably opened up the new character kits, took a quick read, and asked yourself,
what the hell is a certified banger?
Well, be confused no longer, because I'm here today to help make the Elation archetype and new mechanics that it brings a lot more digestible. Please keep in mind that all of this information is from V1 of beta and is not indicative of the final product that will release next month. All of this is heavily subject to change, and I will mark any notable changes in the comments below should they arise. Gameplay footage in the background is completely unrelated and simply serves as stimulation for your brains as I yap endlessly, because I gotta keep viewer retention up somehow or otherwise YouTube will punish me. So let us begin. With all the original paths in Honkai Star Rail came a clearly distinct purpose that they each served. Abundance and preservation was for sustainers, harmony was for buffers, nihility for debuffers, and so on. With so many distinct cookie cutter paths, what purpose does Huohuoverse possibly have to add new paths to the game that divert from the norm? Money. We have only seen 2 Elation characters thus far, and it's already looking like it's going to be Remembrance 2, The Rise of Gru. While there are very distinct brand new mechanics to fit the Elation path, similarly to how Remembrance had memo sprites, it doesn't change the fact that we are shoving what should be a harmony unit into a separate path for the sake of selling light cones and premium characters. And to answer the question that many of you probably have been wondering, yes, mono Elation will almost surely be a thing, save for potentially 1 slot on the team just based on how current bonuses and kits are looking. When you enter battle with Elation characters in your party, you will gain a set amount of Punchline based on how many Elation characters you have in your party. Punchline is a brand new form of stacks in HSR, unique to the Elation path. It directly contributes to Elation damage, which we will get into a bit later. When your team possesses any amount of Punchline, Aha will appear in the action bar. Yes, that Aha right there. Aha's speed is increased based on how many Elation characters you have in your team and what their speed is, capping out at 3 Elation characters. Here's the formula for how Aha's speed is calculated in 4.0. X in this case is your fastest Elation character's speed, while Y is your second fastest Elation character's speed, and Z will be your third fastest Elation character speed, and we don't know the value in the question marks yet because we don't have 3 Elation characters yet in the game. So we'll probably learn in 4.1 what the last value is, and it'll be easier to get Aha to better speed thresholds. While this is how we can increase Aha's speed, there's currently no way to action advance them. However, with the backloaded nature that this path currently has, I wouldn't be surprised if a future character changes this, aka Silverwolf or Yai Sakura, but we'll have to wait and see. When Aha's turn arrives on the action bar, an Aha Instant will take place. Aha Instant causes all Elation characters to use their Elation skills, which are unique traces that can be leveled independently from the standard basic attack, talent, skill, and ultimate. Elation skills will vary per character, but for the 2 Elation characters that we currently have, they deal Elation damage. This is probably a good time to mention that Honkai Star Rail has a new damage type, that being Elation damage. If you're trying to find which numbers are Elation in all of your damage bar, consider looking for the gay ones. Elation damage has a separate formula and can best be compared to lunar damage from Genshin. While Elation damage does factor in stats that we're used to, such as crit, vulnerability, defense shred, and res pen, it is not affected by traditional boosts such as damage percent. More notably, it does not scale off of attack, HP, or defense either, and instead has a fixed value that scales off of your character's level, capping out at 7,535.107 when you reach level 80. I feel that I shouldn't have to say this, but if for some reason you're somebody that doesn't level your characters all the way, level your Elation characters to level 80, please, I'm begging you. In addition to what I've mentioned already, the Elation damage formula also considers some new values as well in Elation, Merrymaking, and Punchline, which we mentioned briefly earlier. As it stands in 4.0, the only way to gain Merrymaking is from E6 Yao Guang, so 99% of you can ignore that part. There may be units in the future that have Merrymaking in their kits, or Eidolons, but only time will tell, so for now, don't really worry about it. Unless you're E6ing her. If you are, that's unfathomably based. No, but Merrymaking aside, the most notable values here are Elation and Punchline. Elation is a percent multiplier that can be best compared to traditional sources such as skill or follow-up damage boosts. While you can't have it as a main stat on your relics, there are various ways that Elation can be obtained between Sparxie and Yao Guang's kits, light cones, eidolons, and even their traces as boosts, which is interesting. I actually thought that was kind of cool that they added a new trace boost for Elation damage. Punchline, on the other hand, is obtained when you enter combat with Elation characters in your party, as well as various parts of both Sparxie and Yao Guang's kits. While I'm not going to be covering Sparxie and Yao Guang in this video, if you would like me to make a separate video explaining their kits, feel free to let me know. I'd be more than happy to. Punchline is a shared resource across the entire team and will appear above your skill points in battle, right? It's a little orange mask right there. Well, that's great. Now we know how Punchline is generated and where to find it, but what exactly does it do? In the Elation damage formula, it is calculated as such. I'm not going to make you try to do the math here, so I'm just going to explain. Basically, TLDR, the more Punchline you have, the more Elation damage you will deal. I mean, I feel that's pretty obvious. When Aha's turn in the action bar takes place, and Aha instant goes off, all Punchline will be consumed and converted into certified banger. I'll get to that in a minute. The main takeaway is that you are trying to stack as much Punchline as possible prior to Aha's turn. Make him laugh harder, and he'll find beating the shit out of the enemies that much funnier. This would also be a good time to mention that not all sources of damage from Elation characters are considered Elation damage. Elation damage will only be dealt if it is explicitly stated in the ability or talent description, so be mindful of this when building. While Yao Guang's main source of damage is her Elation skill, which does Elation damage, and thus you don't need to build a scaling stat such as attack, Sparxie has separate multipliers that scale off of her attack, and more notably, she converts her excess attack into Elation. So this will vary from character to character, just be mindful of this and read their kits, or just read a guide. After the Aha instant goes off and Punchline is consumed and converted into certified banger, what does that do? Certified banger stacks are calculated separately per character and also have different effects based on the character that possesses them. While Sparxie uses them to increase her personal damage, Yao Guang uses them to allow all party members to deal a set amount of Elation damage increase based off of the certified banger stacks and skill point consumption, capping out at 3. 3 skill points, I should say, not 3 banger stacks. You're gonna hit a lot more than that. Certified banger stacks also disappear 2 turns after being obtained. These values are calculated separately though. So let's say for instance, I gain 20 certified banger stacks on my turn, and then on my next turn, I gain 42. Okay, great, now I have 62. But the 20 that I originally gained are going to expire before the 42 because I gained them earlier. Try to keep this in mind when using certain abilities to maximize your damage, but other than that, I mean, there's only so much control you have over it, so just try to keep it in mind. It'll be the gold number above your character's heads. You've probably seen it in events before. I think it's in like the Aventurine fight too. I don't remember though. But that's basically the gist of the Elation mechanics. Obviously not specifically speaking on Yao Guang or Sparxie, which both add a level of depth to how the archetype works. But, you know, if you guys want to see a video covering them, I'd be more than happy to. For those of you that are still confused on how Elation works, allow me to reiterate everything I've said in Razor language. Elation character in party? Aha go action bar. More Elation characters? Faster Aha. And more Punchline stack. Punchline stack make Aha stronger. Aha turn consume Punchline stack. Make Elation characters use Elation skill. More Punchline stack equals more Elation skill damage. Aha turn Punchline into certified banger. Banger stacks, Sparxie hit harder. Yao Guang makes ally do Elation boom. More skill points equals bigger boom. I hope that I never have to talk like that again, good lord. Anyways, that about wraps up how the brand new Elation mechanics work. To give my thoughts on the archetype in its current place as a whole, I think it feels a little undercooked at the moment. This is likely because we only have 2 Elation characters at the moment, but the backloaded nature of the Aha instant makes this team feel a little lackluster at times. The only way to get additional Aha instants currently is through Yao Guang's ult or the Sparxie boss. On top of this, I feel like the damage that Sparxie does in her enhanced basic attack from stacking up her skill a bunch should be higher when she's consuming up to 20 skill points. But that's just me. I mean, this is how they want it to work. So I've seen people saying that maybe she's a sub DPS, but I just don't buy it. I don't think there's a sub DPS out there that's consuming 20 skill points. If there's one thing I'm certain of, though, it's that Huohuo is not going to make this archetype weak. I mean, this is their main way of making money for 4.x. I mean, maybe it won't power creep the current best team in the game. I mean, I hope it doesn't. But there's no way it's going to be weak. If they aren't going to be buffing these characters in beta, it's likely because there's going to be another character coming later down the road, or characters that are going to make the archetype a lot stronger. And these characters, or light cones, I'm looking at you, Hyacine light cone, may fix certain design flaws that this archetype has. So time will tell, but I think the possibility of a future Elation unit advancing AHA or giving them more turns is highly likely, but we'll have to wait and see. In any case, similar to our pink team from Emphorius, Elation is shaping up to be a package deal. I definitely put some careful consideration into what characters you're pulling throughout 4.x, just so you can maximize the damage of the characters that you like. But as always, spend pulls on who you want. You know, it's a game. Don't worry about it too much. Endgame isn't the end all be all. Just have fun. And that being said, though, I hope this video was useful in helping you understand how Elation works. If you would like to see videos dedicated to Sparxie and Guang, feel free to let me know. Thank you for watching. Take care.